So we'll continue with scapula now after clavicle. Can you hear me, all of you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So now coming to scapula. So like what are the scapula? What are the various surfaces you see in the scapula? Scapula is very much irregular bone. Okay, it's also called as shoulder blade. It is large, flattened and triangular bone. Where is it situated? Located on the upper part of the posterolateral aspect of the thoracic cage against 2nd to 7th ribs. Okay, so this is scapula. So basically scapula has 3 borders. Okay, it has 3 angles and 3 processes. Now let us see what are the 3 borders it has. Now see, this border is near to the midline, that is the vertebral column, suppose. Okay, so that means this is right scapula which is displayed here. Okay, so this is near the vertebral column, that's why you call it as medial border. This is near the upper limb, that's why this is the lateral border. This border is above, you call it as superior border. So how many borders we have seen? 3 borders. Okay, medial border, lateral border, superior. Just consider it as a triangle. Okay, then it has 3 angles. What are the various angles we have? Like this is superior angle, also called as lateral angle towards the glenoid cavity. This is medial angle and this is inferior angle. Below you have inferior, lateral and medial angle. Then it has 3 processes. What are the 3 processes it has? One is this shelf-like projection. We have this is spinous process. And apart from that, it has 2 more processes. What are those? It has beak-like coracoid process, and then it has acromion process. Coracoid process, acromion process. So 3 processes, like spine or spinous process, coracoid process and acromion process. So this surface is facing backwards behind. Okay, that's why this surface is dorsal surface. The other surface which is lying over the ribs, it is called as the costal surface. Okay, so if from this aspect also again you can see the borders. This is near the vertebral column, that's the reason you call it as medial border. This is lateral border. Okay, and this is superior border. Okay, what are the various angles? I told you we have like superior angle, also called as medial angle. This is towards the glenoid cavity is lateral angle and this is inferior angle. This glenoid cavity is shown in blue color because it is covered with articular cartilage. Okay, what is coming and articulating here in the glenoid cavity? Head of the humerus to form
Humerus.
shoulder joint. Okay, what are these 2 projections we are finding? One is coracoid process, which is beak-like. Okay, and the other is acromion process, which is in continuation with the spine of scapula. Okay, and all these oblique ridges are actually showing the attachment of one of the muscle which is seen in this subscapular area, subscapular fossa or costal area. This is okay. The muscle we have here subscapularis. The muscle what we have here is subscapularis. Okay, so that is what it. Now, if you just look at the bony components, I told you this is superior border, right? At the superior border, if you observe, there is a notch. The name of this notch is suprascapular notch. Okay, so and then see, this is glenoid cavity and this is spine of scapula. So between the glenoid cavity and spine of scapula, in fact, you can see the nerve yellow color which is coming here. That means you can keep your finger like this. That means there is a notch which is sometimes also called as neck of the scapula. I told you scapula is irregular bone, irregular type of bone. Okay, this neck of the scapula, you are finding there is one nerve passing, that is suprascapular nerve. Okay, now when you talk about this, what is this projection? I told you spine, isn't it? Spine of scapula. Now when you look at the spine, it has upper border, it has lower or upper lip and lower lip. The upper, now what is this continuation of the spine? We call it as acromion process. Acromion process. So this upper lip is becoming continuous with the medial border of the acromion. oh sorry, lateral border of the acromion. Oh, this is medial only, no? So this is medial border of the acromion, and the lower lip is becoming continuation with the lateral border of the acromion. Okay, this is the medial border of acromion because this is the midline, medial border. Glenoid cavity is away, that is lateral border. Okay, so this is the lateral border of acromion. This is the medial border of the acromion process. Near the medial border, at its anterior end, you are finding again bluish area. That shows, that means there is a facet, oval facet for the acromion process of the clavicle bone to form the acromioclavicular joint. Okay, acromioclavicular joint. Is that clear? So these are the bony features what we find with the scapula. Now in this picture you are finding glenoid cavity is very clearly shown. And obviously towards the glenoid cavity this border becomes the lateral border away from the midline, isn't it? Then immediately above we have this beak-like projection. This is coracoid process, and continuously with spine is the acromial end and the acromion process. Okay, so that is. So if you have understood bony features thoroughly, then it becomes easy to check with the points, no? So this I already told you, it is large flattened triangular bone located on the posterior lateral aspect of the thorax, again second to seventh ribs. Now I told you it has three processes. Now what are those? Spinous, acromion, and coracoid. The bone looks like a triangle. It is thin if you have in your hand, and it is transparent. It has two surfaces. What are those? The one which is resting over second to seventh ribs, you call it as costal surface, and the one which is behind where we have this spine and all, that surface is dorsal surface. What are the borders we saw? Superior border, lateral border, medial border. Three angles we saw: inferior, superior, and lateral angles. So dorsal surface is presenting spine, spinous process. Lateral angle is truncated to form an articular surface. No, what do we find at the lateral angle? Glenoid cavity. Glenoid cavity. Okay. What are the three processes we have? Spine, spinous process, which is shelf-like projection. Acromion process, which is in continuation with the spine. We have seen just now. Then coracoid process is beak-like projection. Okay, which is arising from the upper border of the head and bends sharply to project superior anterior. Okay, glenoid cavity is facing laterally forwards and it is slightly upwards. So coracoid process is directed forward, spinous process is directed behind. It is on the dorsal surface of the bone. No? It is directed posteriorly, spine. Okay. No. So we will see the muscle attachments. You will not understand like this. I'll show you and discuss. Yeah. Now let us see the muscle attachments. Then we will come to the points and points. See, this is the superior border. This is the lateral border towards glenoid cavity. This is medial border. Now let us see. We know like this is the spine of the scapula. It has upper lip. It has lower lip. Now when we were talking about clavicle just now, I told you the lateral 1/3 of the clavicle, we have seen two muscles, no? Anteriorly we have seen deltoid, posteriorly we have seen trapezius. I told you deltoid has three origins. Okay, from the lateral 1/3 of the clavicle, from the acromion process, and from the lower lip of the spine of the scapula beta. No, humerus only insertion, deltoid tuberosity.
Okay.
Okay. Deltoid itself can be a 5 marks question, very important 5 marks question. Okay. Now let us summarize the origin of deltoid. Lateral 1/3 of the clavicle, anterior border. Okay. Lateral 1/3 of the clavicle. Okay. And this is lateral border of the acromion process of the scapula bone and lower lip of the spine of the scapula. Okay, these are the points of origin of deltoid. Where is the deltoid getting inserted?
Shaft
the deltoid
of
tuberosity. Shaft of the humerus, there is a bony elevation which is called as deltoid tuberosity. Okay, so this is lower lip is over. Now coming to the upper lip, We are finding there is one muscle which is trapezium shaped. I told you one of its insertion point was there in the clavicle also. No? Lateral one third posterior border, we have seen the insertion of trapezius. So trapezius is not only getting inserted in the clavicle, but it is, if we have cut the trapezius when you were doing dissection of the back, try to recollect, it was trapezium shaped muscle. That means origin is coming from the external occipital protuberance, the spines of the cervical vertebra and thoracic vertebra. Insertion is going towards the clavicle and the upper lip of the spine of the scapula. Okay, that is yes. Above the shelf, see this is shelf-like projection beta. In fact, you can keep your pen, you can place your pen over here. Okay, above this shelf we have a muscle supraspinatus. Below this shelf we have a muscle infraspinatus. Supraspinatus and infraspinatus. Okay. Glenoid cavity margins are giving attachment to what? Anywhere margins of any joint will give attachment to capsule. Capsule there at the sternal end also, at the acromial end also have used capsule of the joint is attached. Similarly, here also you are finding the capsule of the shoulder joint is attached along the margins of the glenoid cavity. This point will be repeated when we discuss shoulder joint. Now, which border is this? Glenoid cavity means which border? Lateral border. So lateral border is giving origin to certain muscles. So basically below the glenoid cavity, you call this tubercle as infraglenoid tubercle. From the infraglenoid tubercle, we have long head of triceps. Okay. Then from the lateral upper 2/3 of the lateral border is giving origin to minor. Always minors above, major below. Teres minor. Okay. And in the lateral border only, in the lower 1/3, we see the origin of teres major. This is inferior angle, no? And this is dorsal surface of the bone. So inferior angle is giving attachment to latissimus dorsi. Latissimus dorsi. We are done with the attachments of spine. We are done with the attachments of lateral border. Now let us see the attachments of medial border. Now above the root of the spine, this area above the root of the spine, the name of the muscle is, we are seeing the insertion of levator scapulae. Okay, and at the root of the spine, we are finding the insertion of rhomboids minor. All insertions only, levator scapulae insertion, rhomboids minor insertion, and rhomboids major insertion is below the root of the spine to the inferior angle. We have the insertion of rhomboids major. If you see on the lateral border or medial border, both the sides you are finding minors above and majors below. It's like one of the clue to remember easily, hint. Okay. Now, what was the name of this notch we have seen? Where the nerve was passing, supraclavicular notch. What nerve was passing from here? Supraclavicular nerve. What is the name of the ligament? Actually, the ligament will be where I am scrolling the arrow. Similarly, in that plane, it will be attached. The straight line. We call this ligament as supraclavicular ligament. Actually, supraclavicular ligament attachment converts the suprascapular notch into suprascapular foramen. It becomes as though it is a hole. Okay. So below the foramen, you will see the suprascapular nerve will be passing. Above the ligament, that is foramen, you will see the vessels are passing, suprascapular vessels. Okay. Now, when you observe teres minor origin, it is interrupted by the entry of one artery. What is that? Circumflex scapular artery, which is one of the branches coming from the third part of axillary artery. We will discuss when we talk about axillary artery. Now let us, hope you understood dorsal surface. Now, which surface is this? Costal surface. Okay, which is resting over the ribs. So which ribs we have? Second to seventh ribs. So this surface is costal surface. So costal surface, it is giving attachment to which muscle here? Subscapularis. Okay. So now let us assign the borders now towards the glenoid cavity. What is the name of this border we have? Lateral border. Okay. Near the vertebral column, what is the name of this border? Medial border. And what is this border we have above? superior border. Okay. Now, coming to this costal surface, which is resting over the ribs, here you will find there is a muscle which is taking its origin, that is subscapularis. Subscapularis. The fossa is also subscapular fossa. It will be like this only, like a good. Inside you will see bulky muscle, that is subscapularis. Along the medial border, we will see the insertion of serratus anterior. Here you will find all serratus anterior along the ribs, upper 8 ribs you will see the muscle is originating. Okay. Then, so serratus anterior insertion we are finding. So basically serratus anterior will have like 8 digitations. Okay. So 8 digitations are all getting inserted along the which border? Medial border of the scapula. Okay. So from the superior angle to the root of the spine, you will find 1 digitation. Here you will have 2 digitations from the root of the spine to the inferior angle. Last 5 digitations, thick digitations are all getting inserted in the inferior angle. Overall, digitations means it is like something like finger. 8 digits it is. Okay. So this is receiving the insertion of medial border on the costal surface is receiving the insertion of serratus anterior. We already know infraglenoidal tubercle is giving origin to which muscle? Long head of triceps. Okay, above the glenoid cavity also you will find there is a tubercle which is called a supraglenoidal tubercle, which gives origin to short head of biceps. Okay. Now coming to the attachment of the coracoid process. Coracoid process itself can be a 3 marks question. It's a very much popular 3 marks question. So coracoid process is giving attachment to, one is like short head of biceps. Along with that you will see coracobrachialis muscle is also originating. It's giving attachment. Do you remember on the inferior aspect we had conoid part and trapezoid part of coracoclavicular ligament? Actually, these two are the same things. One is the conoid part and the other is from trapezoid ridge. And the name of the ligament is the coracoclavicular ligament. And not only that, there is a connection between the coracoid process and acromion process. You call the name of the ligament as coracoacromial ligament. These ligaments again we will study when we are doing shoulder joint, because they support the shoulder joint superiorly. Okay. And then this is suprascapular notch. We know it is bridged by suprascapular ligament. Apart from that, we have done full head and neck, right? Most of the topics. So there you will see like inferior belly of omohyoid, superior belly of omohyoid, which divides the triangles, no, posterior triangle, anterior triangle. Actually, the inferior belly of omohyoid is attached to the medial aspect of the suprascapular notch. Okay. So you are finding the attachment or the origin of inferior belly of omohyoid. Okay. So you try to revise it for yourself. I'll ask you a few questions tomorrow. Okay. Clavicle and scapula. If you don't do daily reading again, we will forget everything. Okay. Because again, we have all muscles. Limbs means muscles only. You will have Viva questions based on all muscles. If you are thorough with osteology aspects of muscles, automatically you will tell. Suppose if deltoid is asked, you will tell origin, lateral 1/3 of the clavicle, acromion process, and the lower lip of the spine of the scapula. Insertion, deltoid, tuberosity of humerus. Like it becomes a flow if you practice. Okay?
Ma'am? Head and neck, we haven't done the whole thing, ma'am. We just started and finished 4 or 5 topics, and we started with neuro. After limbs, you will, I think, start head and neck.
Okay. I knew that.
Okay, ma'am? Okay.
Okay, beta. So that is all about scapula bone. Hope you understood.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, we will see some. We will see point wise if we have missed anything. Okay. So costal surface, concave. What was the muscle we have seen? Subscapularis. Okay, on the medial margin we have the insertion of serratus anterior. Okay, dorsal surface, supraglenoidal. All these muscles I have shown you, isn't it? Supraspinatus, infraspinatus, teres minor, major, latissimus dorsi, suprascapular node, suprascapular foramen. I told you artery passes above, nerve passes below the ligament, isn't it? Inferior belly of omohyoid is arising from the superior border near the suprascapular node. So everything has been discussed, but I'm just checking if any point is missed. Okay. Glenoid cavity is deepened by the attachment of a fibrocartilaginous rim. Fibrocartilaginous rim is actually called as glenoidal labrum, okay, which deepens the glenoid cavity. Okay. Okay, now coming to the ossification center, nobody will ask you ossification, but just to complete the topic. So basically this is cartilaginous type of ossification. That means initially a cartilaginous layout is formed and then you will see it is transformed into bone. So we have 8 centers, 1 primary and 7 secondary centers. Okay, 1 primary center appears in the body, secondary centers, where are they appearing? 2 centers appear in coracoid process, 2 centers appear in acromion process. 1 center appears each in the medial border, inferior angle and lower part of the rim of the glenoid cavity. Anyhow, to remember so much is difficult, but just for your knowledge, I'm telling you. Okay. So when is the primary ossification center appearing? During 8th week of intrauterine life. Okay. So like that. Now coming to, there is a deformity, congenitally high scapula. The position of scapula is high, which is called as Sprengel's deformity. The scapula develops in the neck region during intrauterine life. Okay, and basically it is migrating downwards in adult position. Suppose if it is not migrating to its original position, then you will see there is high lying position of the scapula, so which is called as Sprengel's deformity. Okay. So generally this is corrected by a surgical procedure so that there is no disturbance to the brachial plexus. Otherwise, brachial plexus is all coming from the between the cervical vertebra. What is the root value we have? C5, C6, C7, C8 and T1,
T1.
isn't it?
Hmm.
So suppose if scapula is lying there, all the roots of the brachial plexus will be compressed. Okay, so that surgery is usually done to bring the scapula to its normal position. So this one clinical condition you can remember, Sprengel's deformity. Okay, beta? So we will stop here.
Okay.
Okay, continue tomorrow.
Thank you.
Beta. Okay,
Yeah. Bye.
bye.